What's up, guys? How we doing? So I made a little mistake yesterday, and boy, you guys let me have it. Chase Sexton is done with the outdoors. He's had enough. He's getting ready for SMX. But hey, Ken Roczen's on his way back. And then I want to talk about an alarming problem in the sport that has to do with protecting our youth. If you have any aches and pains, I'm telling you, try Nano-Extreme. You can thank me later. This is the best pain solution that I think I've ever used. Mike Metzger's using it. Everyone that uses it comes back raving. So do yourself a favor, head over to Nano-Extreme, use code Cooksy and get free shipping. If you're working on your training, head over to Complete Racing Solutions. Coach has specific programs for youth riders. He's got 30-minute express workouts for vet riders and people who are busy all day. His program's different. It focuses on the complete package, including your mental development. So head over to Complete Racing Solutions and let Coach Rob hook you up. Ride strapped, get your red pill shirt, get your industry outsider shirt, get your goggles, glasses, just a really cool company that I'm happy to be associated with. Head over to Ride Strapped and check their stuff out.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, I've gotten hundreds of messages about the photo of Chase Sexton's clutch. I get it, I made a mistake. If you've ever edited, what you're doing is you're grabbing these small pictures that you've modified earlier and throwing them up on the screen. Not always do you check every single detail. Missed that one. I totally missed it. I had one of the front brake side, and everything I said still stands. I hold on everything I said about him not using that front brake. But you can see as his hands turned right before it comes out of view, his glove is behind that front brake lever. It couldn't have been on. I do want to thank all you haters for commenting. It helps the video's algorithms. It really did help the interaction on that video. I mean, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make mistakes on purpose. Man, the stuff I saw on there telling me I don't know what a clutch is because I ride electric bikes. Bro, I've been riding since I was a kid. I obviously know the clutch and brake, but I'm also a human being. And sometimes when you're doing a couple things at once, you'll make a small mistake. I own it. I put a picture of the clutch up. Kind of silly. And after it was already posted, I wasn't going to go back and edit it. You know what? It is what it is. It's okay to make mistakes sometimes. Everybody makes a mistake every now and then. Everybody does something, they go, damn, I wish I hadn't done that. But you know what? I'm just going to own it. I made a mistake, and I'm going to move forward. Here's the picture I meant to put up. This is of the front brake side, and this is before he turned his hand, and you can see his glove is behind the lever. It's really hard, but KTM covering this thing up is embarrassing. They do have some serious quality control issues with that company, and it stems from the very top and the way that they've shuffled money around and messed with suppliers. Was this a product failure and part of the bigger issues that KTM's having? I don't know. I really don't. Could have just been dirt, could have been a rock, could have been anything, but that's not to say they don't have those issues. And if you don't think the riders are aware of these types of quality control issues, Chase Sexton was pissed. That's why he's sitting out the last 2 rounds. He's not really that hurt. He's just like, he's so over it right now, riding in a series because they have 31 races. They're burnt out. The schedule's got to him. The issues with this team that he's leaving has also got to him. And I'll bet you if this had happened a round earlier, he would not have accepted the invite to ride for the donations. I do think it's really cool that KTM and Yamaha, while both their guys that are riding in the donations, and Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton, are moving on. Tomac, unfortunately, is going to KTM, and I think that's going to be an utter disaster. And Chase Sexton's joining Kawasaki, I would say, as Prado's teammate, because he has 2 more years on his contract, but that thing's gone just about as bad as it could have. And both parties right now are ready to just say, no, let's just fold up shop. I don't even think Kawasaki would make him do a buyout. After adding it to Garrett Marchbank's contract to where they could put him on a 450, that would be a hell of a team if they had Garrett Marchbanks and Chase Sexton on 450s next year. That has a way better ring to it than some guy that is not happy to be there and causing problems. They have enough issues around that Kawasaki team with chemistry. I mean, Jason Anderson can tell you all about that. That didn't go well either. And when you get a couple people inside that truck or inside that team that start talking negatively, that stuff's contagious, and they do not need that. They got a lot of money wrapped up in Chase Sexton. It's a new era for Kawasaki, And I think they'd just as soon part with Jorge Prado and not have any of the negativity of 2025 leak into 2026. But speaking of those two factory teams that are paying to have their riders race at the Donations, they're chumps. Are you serious? You teams need to man up. Have you seen how many spots they're selling for the Donations? Can you see how much money this race brings in? And you guys are out of pocket paying to go compete in this event. And I know there's some really good people. I think Mike B from Club MX is behind a lot of the fundraising for the Donations team, and he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart. This is something he should not have to do. This is something the AMA should have stepped up and paid for. The amount of money they collect from us in their membership dues is outrageous. And then when it comes to something they should be paying for, we have to do fundraisers because they've done whatever they've done, built museums, laundered, who knows what they've done with all that money, but it's not there. The millions and millions of dollars that we contribute to the AMA, where does it go? You can check one of my old videos. I broke that all down. It is disgusting. Rob Dingman should be in jail. And the Coombs family right along with him. If these teams want to have any idea how much money these races are pulling in, all they have to do is think back to the time when the Coombs family had a home break-in and somebody took allegedly $1 million. Yeah, that story is out there and it's really credible. There was a break-in at the Coombs family home. They had a pile of money, roughly $1 million is what I've been told, that was stolen. Why didn't we hear anything about this? Why wouldn't they do a report? Because this is the money they skim off the top. This is the cash that they've unreported, so they couldn't make a claim. When you have illegally obtained money, you can't exactly report it stolen. So yeah, there's plenty of money for these promoters to kick back to the teams, riders, and the people we actually pay to go see these at these events. Anyway, good on Chase Sexton for calling it a season, at least for the outdoors. He really wants that SMX championship. He wants that purple and yellow background on a Kawasaki. That'll look really good. He's been really close the last couple years, but he was burned out. So he is making sure he is not burned out and he is ready to go for those final 3 rounds. I'm sure he'll be, he's not going on a vacation like he did earlier in the year. He'll be getting ready, testing, and ready to hit the ground running at Charlotte. Another guy who's done for the year, and this sucks. Jalik Swoll is one of the more talented 250 riders out there, and he was primed to make a good run in 2025. But he tore his Achilles tendon right before the season, and it pretty much ruined the entire season. He came into outdoors late with very little prep, had some really good finishes. He ran up front. He's been up front almost every dang moto that he's been in, but he also tore the ligament in his thumb, the same one that everybody tears, but he was riding through it. Well, I guess at Ironman, he tore his calf muscle, the same one that he had the Achilles issue in. And that's very common. When you have one injury, other muscles start compensating and you become vulnerable. Hey, you know what? That's a sign. Go ahead, go get the thumb fixed, get the calf fixed. And I'm telling you what, Jalik Swoll in 2026, if he can get through this offseason and have a good offseason, he will be a championship contender in both Supercross and outdoors. He's good. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. That's pretransport.com. They are a family-owned shipping company that does a great job. They have good tracking, good pricing. Hit up pretransport.com. Alias MX gear. This is probably the highest quality gear that I've ever seen or been a part of. This gear is good. So if you want the 25.5 stuff, you better hurry. It's going fast. Head over to Alias MX and get your gear before it's sold out. So we're going to be missing Jalik Swoll and Chase Sexton for the final 2 rounds, but it looks like Ken Roczen's in. Ken took a break. He does this every year. It's smart. He's one of the only guys who actually pencils in a vacation during the summer. You cannot run 31 rounds every single year and expect to have a long career. So Ken Roczen has made himself a Supercross-only guy in an era when you don't really have Supercross-only guys. He runs SMX, which is supposedly the hybrid, but it's mostly Supercross. Then he races World Supercross, and then he races the AMA Supercross. I don't expect a lot out of him riding a couple outdoor nationals. I know he's a 2-time 450 champion, and he's really good at Unadilla, but he's not going to be looking to win races. He's going out there getting those elusive gate drops, knocking off the rust. So when they get to SMX and World Supercross, where he makes his money, that's where you're going to see Roczen hopefully be ready to go. So I wouldn't look for too much out of him at Unadilla. I look for him to be battling with Jorge Prado, and I don't know if he's got enough for RJ right now, but at Unadilla, he might. He's that good at that track. He might even lead some laps. But Ken Roczen's focus is just getting prepared for SMX, not necessarily going out and getting good results in outdoor nationals. So youth sports in general has a problem with predators. These predators use youth sports to disguise themselves, to gain parents' trust, and do horrible things to the kids. And it is a very common problem in motocross. We have an atmosphere that actually promotes this. First off, the families are struggling to afford to do it. When you get this creep comes in and they want to sponsor your kid because they're so happy, they gain your trust, they get access to your kid, and now you're taking him on overnight events where there's motorhomes and all these different opportunities for these sexual predators to exist. And I'm not saying this is a motocross only problem. This is a problem in youth sports. Google it. It's all over the place. But we have created an open season for these guys. Our people don't even do checks. Tracks do not run background on employees who are dealing with kids. There's so many organizations willing to do this for as little as $10. Head over to protectyouthsports.com. They have programs throughout there. There's a group of mothers who are very concerned about this, and I've been talking with them, and they've been feeding me names, and I'm just blown away at how many sexual predators have been allowed to exist at motocross tracks. And there's this code of silence that you don't say anything because nobody wants to do anything that could be bad for the sport. I'll tell you what's bad for the sport. Allowing these scumbags to operate around our children, that's bad. And yes, I'm working on a big story to expose how many and how these guys were allowed to do what they've done in our sport, whether they pose as coaches, sponsors. It's gross. It's so gross. A lot of this could be avoided simply by doing background checks. That's all they need to do. One of the ladies from this group reached out to the AMA and said, "Why can't you do this?" They said they can't afford it. Are you kidding me? There's roughly 800 employees around all the motocross tracks in the United States. And they're bringing in roughly $13 million in membership fees from all the members. You're trying to tell me there's not $8,000 in that budget to check on for sexual predators? My God, the AMA is disgusting. So I would really like to see background checks, and let's stop with this code of silence. If you see a scumbag or you see weird behavior of a creepy guy pulling kids into a motorhome and asking them not to tell their parents, speak up or you are part of the problem. Everybody needs to be aware and let these scumbags know our sport is not open season. We will find you and we will either turn you over to the law or worse. Anyway, thank you, members. I appreciate everything. And hey, AJ Writes Crypto and VeChain are still doing the drawing. They extended it a week. I want a mob member to win this. Please head over there, click the link in the description here, go over there and get entered. There's like 15, almost 16,000 entries. And I think there's enough of you guys that if you all went and entered today, one of you guys will almost surely win. So please get over there, win that money, and yeah, let's get a mob member $42,000 or a new Tesla. Thanks, guys. Here's your member of the day.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. The illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B Mazy, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. You know, it's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money hungry, greedy, stupid mother, ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman.